You ever notice how fast people lose respect for someone the moment they lose their cool? 1 second, you could be winning the room. And in the next, one emotional outburst can strip away all your authority, all your credibility. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone, maybe a boss, a parent, a friend, explode, cry, or overreact? And in that instant, they stopped being the strong one. They stopped being the person you could trust or admire. The truth is, respect is fragile. It takes years to build, but only a few seconds to shatter, and nothing destroys it faster than a person who cannot control their emotions. People don't admire the loudest person in the room. They admire the calmest. They don't look up to the one who reacts. They look up to the one who responds with control, precision, and composure. Because here's the reality. If someone can push your buttons, they own you. If they can make you angry, make you beg, make you lose your temper, then you are not in control. They are. And the world doesn't respect people who can be controlled. So let me ask you this. Who's really in charge of your life right now? You or your emotions? When you can't control your emotions, you hand over your power. It's that simple. Think about the last time you let someone get under your skin. Maybe they said something that insulted you. Maybe they cut you off in traffic. Maybe they ignored your effort at work. What happened? Your heart rate went up, your body tensed, and suddenly you weren't thinking clearly anymore. You were reacting. And in that moment, you weren't in charge. Your emotions were. And here's the thing about power. People respect those who hold it, not those who give it away. If someone can push you into anger, if they can get you to lash out or break down, they own you in that moment. They control your mood, your actions, and even your words. And when people see you being controlled like that, they stop respecting you. They may never tell you to your face, but trust me, they notice. Have you ever seen someone in a leadership role completely lose it? Maybe it was your boss yelling at an employee in front of everyone, slamming their fist on the table, throwing things across the room. At first, it might look like power, but if you really pay attention, it isn't power at all. It's weakness. Because true power never needs to scream. True power never loses itself in rage. True power is calm, steady, deliberate. It doesn't react, it chooses. The strongest person in the room isn't the one who raises their voice. It's the one who doesn't need to. It's the person who can sit in silence while chaos is unfolding and still think clearly. Because respect follows strength, and strength is revealed in composure. Now, don't mistake me here. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel emotions. You're human, of course you're going to feel anger, frustration, even sadness. What I'm saying is this. Emotions should be signals, not dictators. They should inform you, not control you. Anger can show you where boundaries are being crossed. Frustration can point out where something is unfair. But when you let those emotions drive the car, you crash every single time. The people who rise in life, the people who command respect, are the ones who can feel the fire inside, but choose not to let it burn everything around them. They channel it, they hold it, they master it, and that's why people listen to them. That's why people trust them. Look at history, at great leaders, negotiators, or even athletes. The ones remembered aren't the ones who lost their temper and stormed off the field, or who broke down in tears under pressure. It's the ones who stood calm under fire, who didn't let the situation shake them. That calm becomes magnetic. It makes people want to follow you because they know if you can't be shaken, maybe you can't be broken. Here's what you need to understand. When you let emotions control you, you make bad decisions. Think about a time you sent a text or email in anger. Did you regret it later? Probably. Think about a time you snapped at someone you cared about because you were stressed. Did it damage the relationship? Most likely. Emotions cloud judgment. They make you impulsive. They make you reactive. And every time you react instead of respond, you weaken yourself in the eyes of others. You want real power, real control. It starts with mastering yourself. When you master your emotions, you take back your authority. You don't let someone else's words dictate your mood. You don't let circumstances dictate your response. You choose, and that choice, day after day, moment after moment, is what builds respect. People notice composure. They notice when someone doesn't flinch, doesn't crack, doesn't break. And even if they don't like you, they will respect you. Because people respect discipline. People respect restraint. People respect the person who cannot be provoked into acting a fool. And let's be real, life is going to test you every day. Someone will insult you. Someone will betray you. Someone will cut you off, talk behind your back, doubt you, dismiss you. That's guaranteed. But the question is, how do you respond? Do you let them see you lose it? Do you give them the satisfaction of watching you unravel? Or do you rise above it and show them that you can't be rattled, that you're stronger than whatever they throw at you? This is why emotional control is the ultimate form of personal power, because it makes you untouchable. No one can use your anger against you. No one can manipulate you by pulling on your emotions. No one can provoke you into looking weak. You become a fortress, calm, unshakable, commanding. And that's when respect comes, because people realize this person cannot be moved. This person cannot be controlled. So ask yourself, do you want to be the person who explodes, who breaks down, who hands their power away every time something goes wrong? Or do you want to be the person people look at and say, no matter what happens, they stay in control. They are solid. They are strong. Because the difference between the two is the difference between being dismissed and being respected. Control your emotions and you control yourself. Control yourself and you control your world. And once you have that, respect is not something you chase. It's something you command. Respect is not something people hand to you just because you want it. It's not given because of your title, your job, your status, or even your age. Respect is earned, and it's earned by how you carry yourself when things get tough. People don't remember you for how you acted when everything was easy. They remember how you handled yourself when everything was falling apart. And if you want respect, you have to stop reacting to life and start mastering composure. The truth is, most people live in reaction mode. Someone insults them, they react. Someone questions them, they react. Someone doesn't treat them the way they want, they explode, they shut down, or they let it ruin their whole day. That's not strength, that's weakness. Because anybody can react. Reacting takes zero discipline. It's automatic. But composure, that takes mastery. That takes courage. That takes strength. Most people don't have. And because most people don't have it, the few who do instantly stand out. Think about it. When you watch someone lose control, what do you think? Do you respect them more or less? Imagine a professional athlete arguing with referees, yelling, throwing things. Sure, it might look dramatic, but does it make you admire them? Or does it make you think, that person just lost it? Now picture another athlete in the exact same situation, but instead of blowing up, they stay calm, they focus, they let their performance do the talking. Who commands more respect? It's the one who holds their composure. Or let's make it even more personal. Have you ever been in an argument with someone who just kept yelling louder and louder? They scream, they insult, they try to overpower you with volume. But deep down, you don't feel intimidated, you feel pity, because you know what's really happening. They don't have control, so they're trying to fake strength with noise. Now compare that to someone who, in that same situation, doesn't raise their voice. They look you straight in the eye. They speak calmly, firmly, with complete control. Which one do you respect? It's not even close. Respect is earned through composure, not reactions. Because when you stay composed, you send a message, I'm in charge, not you, not this situation, not my emotions, me. And that message commands respect without you ever having to demand it. Here's the trap most people fall into. They think reacting makes them strong. They think yelling makes them powerful. They think clapping back, proving a point, showing emotion makes them respected. But the truth is, every time you react, you lower yourself. You step out of control and into chaos. And people do not respect chaos. They respect order. They respect discipline. They respect the one who can stand still in the storm. Respect is like currency. Every time you lose composure, you spend it. Every time you let someone trigger you, you hand some of it away. And sooner or later, if you keep reacting to everything, you'll be broke. you'll have no respect left, not from others, not even from yourself. That's why the most respected people are those who guard their composure, like treasure. They don't waste it on petty arguments. They don't throw it away on things that don't matter. They protect it because they know respect is fragile. And here's something you may not want to hear. People are always watching you. Always. The way you handle yourself in public, in private, online, in conversations, it all builds or destroys respect. Your kids are watching you, your friends are watching you, your coworkers are watching you. Even strangers pick up on your energy, and they all ask themselves the same silent question. Can this person handle themselves, or do they fall apart under pressure? Your composure is the answer to that question. Let me give you an example. Imagine two employees in a workplace. Both get criticized by their boss. The first one reacts, they roll their eyes, they argue, maybe they storm out. The second one stays composed. They listen, they nod, they control their emotions, and later they take action quietly to improve. Which one do you think the boss respects more? Which one do you think gets promoted? Respect isn't earned by being loud. It's earned by being steady. And don't think this only applies at work. It applies everywhere. In your relationships, in your family, in your friendships. People respect the one who can keep their cool when things heat up. They respect the one who can have a disagreement without exploding. They respect the one who can disagree firmly without being disrespectful. Composure doesn't mean you stay silent or let people walk over you. It means you choose your words and actions carefully. It means you act with intention, not impulse. When you react, you give other people power over you. When you stay composed, you take that power back. And the world can sense it. That's why the person who stays calm in the middle of chaos always earns respect. It's not about pretending you don't feel. It's about not letting what you feel control who you are. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, what are you going to do? Are you going to react, get triggered, lose control, and hand them your respect? Or are you going to stay composed, hold your ground, and show them that no one owns you, no one controls you, and no one can break your discipline? Because at the end of the day, respect is not earned through the noise you make, it's earned through the control you hold. And the more composure you develop, the more undeniable your respect becomes. Most people think emotions are weaknesses. They think if you feel too deeply, if you show too much, you're soft, you're fragile, you're vulnerable. But here's the truth. Emotions are not weaknesses. Emotions are weapons. And just like any weapon, if you don't know how to use them, you end up hurting yourself instead of protecting yourself. Think about a sword in the wrong hands. If a child picks up a sword, what happens? They swing it around wildly, maybe cut themselves, maybe break something. That's what it looks like when people let emotions control them. They swing wildly, they hurt themselves, and they lose respect in the process. But put that same sword in the hands of a trained warrior, and it becomes power. It becomes protection. It becomes influence. That's what it looks like when you learn to control your emotions. When you stop letting them control you and start using them with precision. Take anger. For example, most people waste anger. They blow up, they shout, they insult, they damage relationships, and in the end, nothing gets better. But anger, when used as fuel, is one of the most powerful forces you can have. Anger can drive you to push harder, to demand better, to change what needs to be changed, but only if you direct it with control. Anger without discipline destroys you. Anger with discipline builds you. Or think about fear. Most people run from it. They avoid it. They let it freeze them in place. But fear is information. Fear is your body telling you, pay attention. Something matters here. When you learn to use fear as a guide, it sharpens your instincts. It makes you prepare better. It makes you step up instead of step back. Fear isn't meant to stop you. It's meant to alert you. But again, only if you learn how to handle it. Even sadness can be powerful. Sadness connects you to others. It reminds you of what matters. It can even build resilience if you let it teach you instead of break you. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet are not the ones who never felt sadness. They're the ones who faced it, felt it, and learned how to carry it with strength. The point is this: emotions are not the enemy. The enemy is not knowing how to use them. The enemy is letting them spill out recklessly, letting them make choices for you, letting them damage your respect. When you see emotions as weapons, you start to handle them differently. You become intentional. You start asking, how can I use this emotion to make me stronger instead of weaker? Think about silence for a moment. Silence is an emotional weapon too. In an argument, silence can disarm. When someone expects you to react, and you don't, when they expect you to explode, and you stay calm, your silence becomes louder than any words you could have spoken. That's weaponizing restraint. That's using emotions with precision. I want you to picture a negotiator sitting at a table. Across from them is someone trying to provoke, trying to intimidate, trying to dominate. The inexperienced negotiator will react, get defensive, get angry, try to fight back with words. But the skilled negotiator stays composed. They use silence, they use calm, they use patience, they know emotions are tools, and if they can control theirs while the other person loses theirs, they win. Respect shifts to the one who stays in control of their emotional weapons. Now let's be honest, it's not easy. It's not easy to sit in silence when you're boiling inside. It's not easy to stay calm when you want to shout. It's not easy to pause when you want to react. But that difficulty is what makes it powerful. Anyone can explode. Anyone can cry. Anyone can lash out. But few can hold themselves with discipline. Few can harness the energy of their emotions and redirect it into strength. And because it's rare, it's respected. Here's what I want you to start doing. The next time you feel an emotion rising inside you, anger, frustration, fear, sadness, pause. Don't suppress it, don't ignore it, but don't let it spill out uncontrolled either. Ask yourself, how can I use this? What is this emotion trying to tell me? Where can I direct this energy so it works for me instead of against me? That's how you turn emotions into weapons, by making them serve you. Because the truth is, emotions move people. That's why they're so powerful. Anger can start revolutions. Love can heal generations. Fear can protect lives. Sadness can create art that touches millions. Every emotion has power in it. But the people who earn respect are the ones who learn to use that power with discipline. They don't throw it around carelessly. They aim it like an arrow. Respect doesn't go to the person who is the most emotional. It goes to the person who has the most control over their emotions. Not the one who feels nothing, but the one who knows how to channel everything. That's why the leaders, the influencers, the legends, they all had one thing in common. They mastered their emotional weapons. They could inspire, they could persuade, they could hold steady under pressure because they understood that emotions, when controlled, are tools of influence. So the next time someone tells you that emotions make you weak, remember this: emotions only make you weak when you let them run wild. When you train them, when you discipline them, when you learn to wield them like a skilled warrior, they stop being weaknesses and start being power. They stop being burdens and start being weapons. And here's the ultimate truth. The world respects the person who knows how to use their emotions wisely, because that person is dangerous in the best way. Not dangerous because they'll lash out uncontrollably, but dangerous because you can't shake them, you can't manipulate them, and you can't predict them. They are intentional, they are disciplined, and they are powerful. Emotions are weapons. Use them wisely, and you'll not only protect your respect, you'll command it. If you can't master yourself, you'll never influence anyone. That's the truth most people don't want to face. Influence doesn't come from titles, money, or how loud you are. Influence comes from discipline. Influence comes from the ability to lead yourself first before you even think about leading others. And the moment people see that you can't control your own emotions, your own actions, your own impulses, they stop listening. Because why would anyone follow someone who can't even follow themselves? Think about the people you admire. Not the ones you like, not the ones who make you laugh, but the ones you respect, ones whose words actually carry weight. They're the ones who have self-mastery. They don't let anger get the best of them. They don't let fear freeze them. They don't let pressure make them crumble. They have a calm authority that makes people trust them. That calm doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from personality. It comes from discipline. It comes from mastering the self. Here's the thing, everybody wants influence. Everyone wants their voice to be heard, their presence to be felt, their impact to be known, but not everyone earns it. And the reason most people don't is simple. They don't have control over themselves. They speak without thinking. They act without planning. They let impulses dictate their behavior. And then they wonder why people don't take them seriously. Influence doesn't come from impulse. It comes from intention. When you master yourself, you build credibility. And credibility is the foundation of influence. People trust what you say because they've seen how you live. They've seen that you don't break under pressure. You don't flip-flop based on mood, and you don't let emotions drag you all over the place. You become consistent. And consistency is what makes people believe in you. Without it, your words are just noise. With it, your words become law. Now let's talk about leadership. Leadership isn't about having people under you. Leadership is about being someone people want to follow. And nobody wants to follow someone who can't master themselves. If your emotions control you, if your impulses control you, if your weaknesses control you, then your influence ends the moment people notice. But when you demonstrate self-mastery, when people see that you don't just talk about discipline, you live it, suddenly your influence spreads. People start watching you differently. They start listening differently. They start taking you seriously. Look at any strong leader in history. They weren't respected because they never felt emotions. They were respected because they didn't let those emotions control their decisions. They had the same fears, the same doubts, the same struggles as everyone else. But while the average person reacted, they stayed intentional. They didn't just feel, they directed those feelings into purpose. That's self-mastery. And that's why people followed them. Here's something most people don't realize. Self-mastery is magnetic. When you walk into a room and you carry yourself with control, with discipline, with calm confidence, people feel it. They may not even know why, but they sense it. They can sense the difference between someone who is ruled by emotions and someone who rules their emotions. And they're drawn to it because deep down, everyone wants that kind of control over themselves, but few people achieve it. So when they see it in someone else, they respect it. They follow it. Let me put it this way. Self-mastery is influence without words. You don't even have to open your mouth. People can see it in your presence. They can see it in your body language, in your patience, in your tone. You can walk into a heated situation, say very little, but because you're composed and in control, people shift. The energy shifts. That's influence, and you only get it when you've mastered yourself first. But here's a warning, the opposite is also true. If you can't master yourself, people will never truly respect you, no matter what else you have. You can have money, status, beauty, charisma. If you lose control of yourself, you lose influence. Because people don't trust someone who's unstable. They don't respect someone who can be provoked into chaos. And they don't follow someone who can't even lead themselves. So what does self-mastery look like in practice? It looks like discipline in the small things, your habits, your words, your choices. It looks like keeping your word even to yourself. It looks like pausing before you react, choosing restraint when you could choose chaos, staying calm when others panic. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about showing day after day that you own yourself, that nothing owns you. And let's be real, self-mastery isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. No one applauds you when you decide to stay calm instead of exploding. No one throws a parade because you kept your composure when someone tried to provoke you. But over time, people notice. Over time, people remember. Over time, people start to trust that you're different. And trust is the seed of influence. Because influence isn't about impressing people in the moment, it's about earning their respect over time. And the fastest way to lose that respect is to show that you have no control over yourself. The fastest way to gain it is to demonstrate again and again that you do. So here's the challenge. Before you try to lead anyone else, before you try to influence anyone else, master yourself. Prove to yourself first that you can hold your emotions in check, that you can make decisions with clarity, that you can carry yourself with discipline. Once you do that, you won't even need to demand influence. It will come to you. People will give it freely because influence follows mastery. And mastery always begins with the self. You want to change how people see you? Start by changing how you see yourself. Stop being controlled by impulses. Stop being a slave to your moods. Stop letting emotions run the show. Take the driver's seat. Because once you do, people won't just listen to you. They'll respect you. They'll follow you. And that's when you realize the truth. Self-mastery isn't just about controlling yourself. It's the gateway to influencing the world around you. You can't demand respect from anyone else if you don't give it to yourself first. That's the starting point. Respect begins inside, because people will only see you the way you see yourself. If you treat yourself poorly, if you carry yourself like you don't matter, if you let your emotions run wild and control you, then why should anyone else see you as strong? Why should they honor you if you don't honor yourself? Self-respect is the foundation of all respect. It shows in the way you speak, in the way you carry yourself, in the way you react, and the way you set boundaries. And make no mistake, people are always watching. They pay attention. They can see whether you value yourself or whether you sell yourself short, and they treat you accordingly. Here's the problem with so many people. They chase respect from others before building it within themselves. They want people to admire them, to listen to them, to honor them, but behind closed doors, they have no discipline. They let their emotions control them. They don't keep promises to themselves. They let others walk all over them. And then they wonder why no one takes them seriously. Respect doesn't start on the outside. It starts on the inside. Think about it. If you constantly let your anger explode, if you constantly allow people to manipulate you, if you constantly fall apart under pressure deep down, do you really respect yourself? Or do you feel disappointed in yourself? Because that disappointment shows. You carry it in your posture, in your tone, in your energy, and people pick up on it instantly. They don't respect someone who doesn't even respect themselves. Respecting yourself means setting boundaries. It means not letting people push you into reactions that make you look weak. It means holding yourself accountable for your actions. It means being disciplined enough to walk away from what disrespects you instead of fighting for scraps of validation. And when people see that in you, they start to mirror it. They think, if this person values themselves this much, then I need to value them too. Let's make this practical. Imagine you're in a heated argument. The other person is yelling, throwing insults, trying to drag you down. If you jump in and match their energy, yelling back, losing control, you show them that they can pull you into their chaos. That's not self-respect. That's lowering yourself. But if you stay calm, if you refuse to engage in a way that costs you your composure, if you walk away rather than waste energy on nonsense, that's self-respect. That's saying, I value myself too much to fight on this level. And the person yelling might not admit it, but deep down they respect that. Respecting yourself also means being honest with yourself. It means looking in the mirror and saying, I need to get better at controlling my emotions. I need to stop handing my power away. I need to discipline myself. It's not about being perfect. It's about refusing to settle for weakness. Because every time you strengthen your self-control, you build more self-respect. And the stronger that foundation gets, the more others will respect you without you even asking. Here's another truth. The way you treat yourself teaches people how to treat you. If you constantly belittle yourself, if you constantly apologize for existing, if you constantly downplay your worth, people will follow your lead. But if you respect yourself enough to stand tall, to control your emotions, to handle situations with composure, they'll follow that lead too. Respect is contagious, but only if it starts with you. Some of you have been giving away your power because you think being emotional shows people you care, or that exploding in anger proves you're strong. But let me ask you, how has that worked for you so far? Did people start respecting you more after you lost control? Or did they look at you differently, maybe even dismiss you? Real respect doesn't come from proving yourself to others. It comes from proving to yourself that you can hold yourself together. When you respect yourself, you stop begging for attention. You stop demanding respect from the wrong people. You stop trying to prove your worth through reactions. Instead, you let your composure speak. You let your discipline speak. You let your control speak. And trust me, that speaks louder than any emotional outburst ever could. This is why people who respect themselves are naturally respected by others. because they don't compromise who they are just to please people. They don't let disrespect slide. They don't let emotions run wild. They carry themselves with quiet strength, and that strength is undeniable. Even people who don't like them will respect them, because respect is about what you show, not what you ask for. So here's the hard truth. If you're struggling to get respect from others, start by looking inward. Do you respect yourself? Do you control your emotions, or do they control you? Do you stand firm, or do you fold under pressure? Do you hold yourself accountable, or do you make excuses? Because the way you answer those questions will determine how the world answers you. Respecting yourself is not optional. If you want influence, if you want power, if you want to be taken seriously, it is the foundation everything else is built on. Without it, you'll always be chasing respect and never catching it. With it, you won't have to chase it at all. It will come to you. And here's the best part. When you start respecting yourself, you stop being afraid of losing respect from others. You realize that their opinion doesn't define you because your own self-respect is unshakable. And ironically, that's when people respect you the most. When you don't need their validation because you've already validated yourself. So don't just ask the world to respect you. Show them how. Show them by the way you carry yourself. Show them by the way you master your emotions. Show them by the way you refuse to let anyone or anything pull you into weakness. Show them by respecting yourself so deeply that it forces them to respect you too. Because at the end of the day, the respect you give yourself sets the standard. And when you raise that standard high, the world has no choice but to rise to meet it. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. If you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control your life. And if you cannot control your life, you cannot command respect. Respect is not handed to you. It's not given because of your title, your job, your money, or your appearance. It is earned through composure, through self-mastery, through discipline. People respect strength. And the greatest strength is not in overpowering others, but in mastering yourself. Every time you hold back from exploding, every time you respond instead of react, every time you set a boundary instead of begging for validation, you build respect, not just from others, but from yourself. And that inner respect is the most powerful force you can carry. Because when you respect yourself, the world has no choice but to follow your lead. Remember this, emotions are tools, not chains. Use them wisely, and they will serve you. Let them control you, and they will destroy you. The person who wins in this life is not the loudest, not the angriest, not the most emotional. It's the one who can walk into chaos and remain calm, the one who can face fire and not get burned, the one who chooses strength over reaction every single time. So decide today who you want to be. Do you want to be someone people dismiss because you can't control yourself? Or do you want to be someone people respect because your power is undeniable? That choice is yours. Control your emotions, and you control your life. Respect yourself, and respect will follow. That is the true key to influence, to strength, to freedom. And once you master that, no one, not a person, not a situation, not even your own emotions, will ever have power over you again.